Hi, it's Mark Langley with the National Public Safety Drone Donation Program. We're on a mission to interview all of our key partner supporters, and FoxFury is one of those. Antonio Cugini, who is business development person for FoxFury. I wanted to take a time to introduce FoxFury to our audience and to also learn more about what FoxFury is about, how they got started, how they got involved with public safety. Antonio, thanks for taking the time to meet with us today. Tell us a little bit about your background. I mean, I know it's a family-owned business, but give us some history.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Mark, for the time. It's always fun talking to you. Yeah, FoxFury Lighting Solutions started out in 2003. One of those weird stories where we've always been on the leading edge of technology. There was this weird thing called the lighting emitting diode and LED way back then. And someone's like, man, I wonder if we could surf, because we're out in Southern California, Mark. And so someone said, can we surf at night with this? And my dad, who's a mad scientist by nature, was like, I don't know. So we started making this light, which at the time LEDs were not what they are now. It was so we developed this like headlamp, if you will, that would go on a wetsuit that would allow someone to surf here in Oceanside, where we're from, at night. But here's the weird part: it had to be waterproof, it had to be impact resistant, it had it had to be able to do all of these weird things. So we went out to we were really excited. We went out to a surf expo and a snowboard expo, and we started learning about the food chain and how like little fish like light, and then little medium fish like little fish, and so on. Okay. And we were like, ooh, maybe this isn't like the best idea. But along the way, we met an adventure racer who was a firefighter, and he was like, I really like this concept. Could this be something that would work for firefighting? Could it be fire resistant? And Mark, to be honest with you, the rest of our story kind of goes like that, where we went to an event. Amazing. Someone's like, I like this, but I'm in SWAT. Can we put this on a ballistic shield? Or I like this, but I'm in forensics. Could I use this to find like blood or something?
Got it. So it was an evolution of sorts from surfing. So I just got a quick question. Is it shark proof?
Is it shark proof? Yeah. I guess it depends on the size of the shark.
Okay. So no, that's an interesting story. So that's how FoxFury got started. How did you come up with the name? I'm just curious on that.
Oh man, so it's really funny. We did a year as a recreational company, doing bike and surfing and all that, and then we just kind of picked a name that we thought would be cool, and then we got slapped with like, hey, you need to change that name logo. So the name was our letter, and the name was Firefly at the time, but we had done like a year of marketing of that company. So we just decided to keep it kind of the same, but just go really weird and unique and niche. So we kind of kept the beginning, middle, and end the same, and we changed everything else. So
how many lines of products do you carry now?
Oh my gosh.
You've got lighting. I know you had a TED, and you've got some, your Nomad lights are amazing.
Thank you.
So you've got body worn.
Yeah.
You've got tactical, and you have situational, like for fire departments, police departments, scene lighting.
Yep. Yeah. So I would probably have like almost at least 200 part numbers that we carry, but I would say they kind of break down into helmet lighting, which will be for like fire helmets or hard hats. Everything from fun applications to like industrial, all the way into like your public safety, your inspection. Like we have a lot of vehicle inspection companies or like law enforcement that'll use it.
Sure.
We make a line of, you mentioned the Nomads, those are our large portable scene lights. We've done that for 12 years, where at the time nothing was LED, so we had kind of ventured down that road. That's probably one of our biggest, that is our biggest seller. That's what got us into drones.
It's a great light. I've had the privilege of working with you on a couple of setups, and using those lights are amazing. Yeah. And in fact, just at Granite Defense this past year, we were, your mom was out there, and we just got some amazing lights. So a little bit about how we met, which is an interesting story.
It is.
I just want to say to people watching that of all the, when NPS-DDP was a concept, just nothing but a concept, we went to, I think it was Interdrone, right?
Yep,
In Vegas.
Vegas.
And I'm walking around with these paper printed business cards kind of thing, introducing the concept of NPS-DDP, because I really at that time wanted to test the waters to see what people felt about how it was. Well, one of the booths that I came across was Antonio's booth, FoxFury, and they were there because you guys now have a line of a great lineup for drone lighting.
Yep.
You know, again, your dad, the mad scientist, who I've met,
Yep.
great guy, has come up with some amazing builds for drones. And you were there with your mom, whom I thought was your wife at the time.
Yep.
And
Yes,
a
and yes.
little surprise for me to find out she was your mom. But you guys both gave us a really big thumbs up on that, and that was very encouraging to me as well as the other people, because I don't think I met a person that didn't like the concept, but you guys kind of latched onto it. And we stayed connected from that show on. And I'm so happy to say that Antonio sits on our board of directors as well at NPS-DDP, since we've gotten our 501c3. And so tell me, what was it about our foundation that appealed to you, or the idea, if I could ask that?
I think at the foundation at the time was you.
It was me, yeah.
And so I'm just a proponent of you just can't teach passion, Mark. I think I think it really at the end of the day was that simple. You had a concept, which is great. A lot of people have concepts, but you had a desire to help for what seemed like the right reasons, if you will. Okay. And every time I would do a show, it was so weird because we're a lighting company and we do all this stuff in public safety. All too often, we're the only company that has anything with cameras or drones at our booth. And so I basically, as we were talking, I was literally seeing everything you were seeing. People liking the idea, but really not even knowing where to start. It reminded me of like our LED stuff that I started the conversation with. Oh, here's this cool tool. It'll never catch on, right? Here's my cell phone. It'll never replace my camera. And with public safety and a lot of these use cases, I mean, we're talking about not a cute little toy. We're talking about something that can
save lives.
Yeah, be the difference, if truthfully, between that and that. And if I'm not mistaken, that unique above me right there, that was, I think, like when we met, that was about as cutting edge as drones were. What
year was that? Was that 18? Was that 6?
It was 17 or 18. It was one of the early ones.
Yeah.
In operation anymore.
Yeah. So interesting little story too. I sat out on a bench that same event, and I sat next to a woman who showed a lot of interest in what we're doing, and she happened to be Miriam from the Drone magazine.
Yep.
What is it? She actually ran the first story. She actually ran a story about us and our concept. That's before we had a 501c3.
Yep.
So again, I can't thank you enough for the support that you've given us. You've been a part of almost every single donation. We're going to be doing number 38 here real soon. So we've got a lot going on. Our foundation's starting to get a lot of legs.
Yeah.
You're aware of the developments, but for those watching, I want to share with them that we become partners with Women in Drones. Mm-hmm. A lot of the drones that we take back, if there's any public safety agencies out there who want to retire their old drones, they can give them to us. We have well over 200 departments waiting, and that list is growing almost by the week. And we'll repurpose those drones into another department that's not as fortunate as you are, that has the funding. If somebody in the general public would like to send us a drone that they're not using, maybe they bought it for their husband and he's not flying it anymore, or their kids, send it to us. And if we can't give it to public safety, we'll donate it to STEM programs, because we've partnered with Women in Drones, and we have an amazing connection with them to help educate kids across the country. And then I'm going to put it out there as well that if you have a budget for drone technology, we have partners, including FoxFury, that will help us provide best possible pricing, but we'll also donate 5% of the net proceeds back to our foundation. So it's a win-win for everybody. Antonio, this technology since I've met you is, and I think you agree, has changed immensely. And we just got to wonder what the next couple of years hold, right?
Just to piggyback off of what you just shared before, I think there's two things that I think really get in the way. And it just has to do with how new it is. Nothing else, just how new it is. One of the hardest things I think that we struggle with sometimes with NPS-DDP is people are like, oh, you're giving away free drones. Cool, I'll take one. And so on the one hand, yes, in a way it's free, of course, but that's where it's a donation program. But it's not oh, you just want something for free, here you go. We're dealing with public safety agencies in some cases that have a dire need. They know what they're doing. They may have, if it's a checkbox, 8 of the 10 things, and it may end up being that they need funding because they just don't even know how to approach a community to ask for it, or they may even need some help with how to structure it. So it's not, I just don't want people to think like, oh, we just give free drones just willy-nilly, to anybody. It's not that. It's a matchmaking service, if you will.
Yeah, you bring up a really good point, because we also support 501c3 search and rescue groups as well as emergency management groups. But getting back to what you said is, it's not about just making an application, sitting back. We need you to work with us to help you get the funding. We can't do it all ourselves. We are here to help you. I'm just very proud to say, and I don't even think I shared this with the board yet, but as of yesterday, we got our 3rd Walmart donation. And I'm going to tell you how this happened. We are getting the people in uniform to walk into the local Walmart that we've applied to. Introduce yourself to the store manager, let them know why you applied to our foundation. And we're batting now 100% with that approach. So again, there's a lot of different ways to slice this up. We have great partnerships with some leading drone manufacturers. If you have a good story, and in other words, you tell us how you want the drone, like you'd write a grant, make the argument, and then that's going to help us help you to get the funding. And Tony's been great resource for me, being on the board, because he's got the business development thing going on there, and he's got some amazing ideas. So we can't thank everybody enough. If you're watching this, like and click and subscribe, share. Please donate $5, $10, whatever you can donate to us will help and go a long way. And we're looking forward to helping so many more public safety agencies. And Tony, I can't thank you enough for your time today, and especially you're sitting on the board, and I value you so much, not only as a board member, but also as a friend. Yeah.
Mark, can I just add one thing too? And that is, if you are watching this and you have a small business in your community, or you are with like a bank or somewhere like that, and you're like, can that really go a long way? I don't want people to leave here thinking that we're asking for like $50,000. I mean, we're talking about the entry-level drones, if you will. There are many, many documented instances of lives being saved. So whether you're just like a one-off shop, if you're a company that employs a volunteer firefighter within your organization, at the end of the day, we're not talking about $50,000. And sometimes people think that. They watch the marketing, they see the price tags come out, and it's no. And one of the greatest
you don't need a platform like that to save a life. I think we're somewhere in the range of $2,500 to $3,000 is an amazingly advanced drone that will help. And then our foundation will write a donation receipt for that, so it's a win-win for everybody. This is a really good point.
Just to drive that point home, that one we did over in Texas at Erath County, they literally, it's so hard to document, but they flat out said, we use this drone, it likely saved our officer's life because they were able to use it and not send someone into harm's way. So it's not like it'll make a difference in 3 years. It will, if they take care of it, which is part of our whole thing. But we're talking about an instant difference, but we're also, before we ever give them a drone, we make sure they know what they're doing. So there's not the liability. We work with them on engaging the community so that when the drone does enter the community, everybody knows that it's not being used against the community. It's strictly for.
Yeah, we respect people's privacy, and I know law enforcement and public safety does as well. They're there to help save people's lives
Yep.
and to operate as safely and as efficiently as they can. These drones are just amazing tools.
Yep.
Force multiplier, I hear all the time as what these tools provide. And if you're, like Antonio says, if you're a corporation or a company, we will promote what you're doing through press releases and through our social media contacts. So you're going to definitely get some kudos for your donation, and best of all, you're going to be helping to save people's lives. So again, donate, like, subscribe to our channel. Antonio, again, thanks for your time. I really appreciate what you've done for us, and I'm looking forward to the next. Actually, I'm going to be with you down in Texas here in a month or so. Right?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I'll be there at a couple events down there. I'm heading to Reno here next week for AppsCon with Dan's group, so I'll be meeting him out there. So thank you again for all you do, and thank your parents for us as well.
Yeah.
I really, really appreciate their support.
It's my pleasure. It's our pleasure, Mark.
All right. We'll be seeing you soon, man.
I look forward to that.
Bye.
Thank you.